This season in the Championship is going to be even more unpredictable than it usually is, and even more exciting than it usually is. Now, it's easy to say that because every single Championship season is exciting. It's the best league in the world. But this season, with the teams coming up and the teams coming down, it is genuinely going to be so competitive, and there's so many things that can happen in terms of promotion, and as well as that down at the bottom, we are going to be in for a huge Championship season. If you're a Championship fan, then do hit subscribe on this channel. This is the place to be for daily Championship content, so please do hit that subscribe button. It does take 1 second, so if you wouldn't mind helping me out, do hit that subscribe button. And also, if you do want to enjoy the video, drop a like down below. So I just wanted to start off by looking at the odds, and this is where I want to look at the bottom of the table, where we know in the Championship, actually, I'll just pull this up. If we look at, this is 2 seasons ago in the Championship. This is where all 3 of the newly promoted clubs first stayed up in the Championship. And Ipswich, in fact, who ended up getting themselves promoted as well. So you had a team there that went straight up from League One to the Premier, which we might even get this season. We had all 3 teams in that season stay up from the Championship. And if you go but then to last season, 24-25 season, yet again you had all 3 of the newly promoted sides from League One staying up. In Derby County, who stayed up in 19th, Oxford in 17th, and then Portsmouth in 16th. Could we actually go ahead and get that 3 seasons in a row? I do think it's a genuine possibility. And you look at the teams coming up this season, I'll just go back onto the odds, where you really do think there's a strong possibility in this happening again. Because you look here, you've got Birmingham City. They just got promoted from League One. They are the 4th favourites as things stand to go and get promoted from the Championship. Like, the Championship and Bet365 here has got the odds as Birmingham as the 4th best team in the Championship. And as I say, I'd imagine that with these odds here, they're predicting that they're going to make more transfers as well as what they've already got, which is already, in my opinion, a well good enough squad for the Championship. So you've got Birmingham City sat there. Then you've got Wrexham who are sat, that's 10th. You've got Wrexham sat then 10th in the table at 6-1 for promotion as well, which again, they're predicted to be pretty much comfortable. Again, I'd imagine Bet365 here are predicting Wrexham to go ahead and make quite a lot more signings, because they're going to need a lot more. They've signed Ryan Hardy so far, but they're definitely going to need more, and they're kind of predicting the ambition that Wrexham are going to be having this season. So that's 2 teams right there that the bookies don't have anywhere near the relegation zone. Now, in previous seasons, when you look at last season, you had Derby, Oxford, and Portsmouth. They were all predicted to be in and around the relegation. I think Oxford were predicted to be inside. Derby were predicted to be inside as well. Portsmouth maybe slightly above relegation, but they had all 3 teams in a relegation battle, and like you would have expected last season, one of them teams to potentially go down. In the end, none of them went down. This season, the only team you've got in a relegation battle, which is currently 4th bottom in terms of favourites, is Charlton Athletic. Now, they are definitely not definitely. I mean, I can't say definitely. What do I know? But I do think they'll be down there come the end of the season, just because, as I say, it's going to be so competitive down there at the bottom. You've got a lot of teams here in this mix where I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see one of them go down. Like, we are going to get, I think, a team that's been established in the Championship for numerous years that are going to get relegated this season. Just due to the fact, you've got them 2 teams going up in Birmingham and Wrexham. You've got Charlton, who might be down there, yes, but then you've got other teams that have been established in the Championship that all predicted to be in and around it. Now, we'll have a look at the predictions and who I think could be down there just for the relegation. Now, I just wanted to go a bit more in depth into Sheffield Wednesday, because the situation they're in is absolutely horrendous right now. They finished last season, they did well last season under Danny Rowe, but you look at the ownership with Chansiri and what's going on at Sheffield Wednesday, and you really think, could there be a points deduction later down the line? And as well as that, could the manager be gone? It does look like it's got to happen at some point. If he does stay, does he want to be there? Does he heck? And the players not getting paid. We're getting on to the next month now, and I don't think Wednesday players are being paid for last month. So they're in an absolute pickle, and you've got to think, with players like Shea Charles going, they might lose a few more players as well. And with the embargo that they've got as well, Wednesday do scream like they could be in a bit of trouble this season. Now, you can't absolutely write them off, because if they don't get a points deduction, you never know. If they get a points deduction, that could be enough to really finish them off. So there's a team that could be right down in the mix. Then you look at all these teams last season. I don't think there was a massive gap in the table. You look, Luton got 49 points and got relegated. Birmingham the season before got 50 points and got relegated. You're having to reach a high points total, and the reason why you're getting relegated such a high amount of points is because the gap in the Championship between these teams isn't big at all. You look, Sheffield Wednesday in 12th, Luton in 22nd relegated, 9 points between them. There really isn't a massive amount of quality gap in terms of a lot of these Championship sides, which makes you think then we're going to get a good side, or at least maybe even 2 good sides, or established sides, I should say, get relegated this season. So the relegation battle, in my opinion, is going to be absolutely fascinating. As you see there, the odds, I mean, Bet365 need to go and get their heads checked, in my opinion. Now, Oxford bottom is very harsh. Portsmouth second bottom, to me, is absolutely wild. Like, I'm going to do a video on dark horses and kind of teams that I think are going to kind of surprise us this season. And to be honest, I think Portsmouth could be right up there in terms of teams that might surprise me. So I'm surprised. I'm absolutely shocked that they've got them in the odds there as second favourites to go down. And then Preston as well. There's a lot of teams down there. You look at all these teams here in that kind of bottom 9, even bottom 12, that bottom half of the table where you really think, would you be absolutely shocked if these teams ended up getting relegated? And to be honest, right now, I don't think you can be absolutely shocked. Now, we look at the promotion battle. We'll just go to the Championship table last season in terms of the promotion battle, because we know it was a very high points total. We know Sheffield United missed out on promotion with 90 points, 92 points without the deduction. They were miles off it in the end. Burnley and Leeds both got 100 points. Will we get a repeat of two teams getting to 100 points? I don't think that'll be seen for a good few years. You never know, because the teams coming down are always strong from the Premier League. But that is a bit of a freak season. To get two teams on 100 points is absolutely immense. To get one is enough. And to get two is just absolutely ridiculous. So we've got two teams there that were far too strong for the division. Now, you look at it, the teams coming down, obviously they're going to be the favourites. You've got Ipswich coming down. I wouldn't be surprised if they get near 100 points, to be honest. And Southampton, I have high hopes for Southampton this season. I think they'll be right up there. Then you look at the automatic promotion battle. Who else could be in there? If Leicester get a points deduction, they probably won't be in the mix for automatic promotion. The best they'll be getting is Plymouth. And you think, who else could really challenge those automatic promotion places? Sheffield United, obviously new manager, so many question marks with Sheffield United. Who's going to be staying, who's going to be going? It's tough to really judge Sheffield United at the moment. Coventry can maybe make that push up. They're quite settled side in comparison to a lot of these teams. Obviously, teams getting relegated, you're going to be losing players. And as well as that, Sheffield United, obviously losing the player final, they're going to be losing players. Then you got Birmingham up there, who are going to be making more signings as well. With the momentum, you never know with Birmingham. But Coventry are a settled side that could be in and amongst it. If Leicester get the points deduction, then maybe not. I'm struggling with the automatic promotion battle to see outside of Southampton and Ipswich as of right now. Like, I need to see a full transfer window and see what's going to happen. But Ipswich, I mean, let's just speak about Ipswich for a second, because the squad that they've got is just absolutely ridiculous. For Championship level, yes, they got that. They put up a poor. I mean, not a poor show. You can't really. They got back-to-back promotions. They did their best, but you look at their team. They've built an absolute Championship super team, and if they do bring in Kayuste, who's linked again, that for me absolutely just cements them at the top of the league in my opinion. But then you got Leif Davis, who was a cheat code in the Championship last time he was there. You got Sammy Schmoditz coming back as well, who was out injured. He contributed pretty well for Ipswich when he was actually fit. So you got a player there that was top scorer in the Championship a couple of seasons ago. You got Jacob Greaves, did very well at Hull, and then obviously struggled at Ipswich, but you never know, now he's back in the Championship, would probably show the best of his abilities. Dara O'Shea is a very good player at Championship, like a top Championship player. They are going to need a bit of investment. Obviously, they've lost Liam Delap, but I still do expect Ipswich to be absolutely up there. And then Southampton is another team where I think if they keep hold of some of their players, obviously they got question marks over kind of Tyler Diblin, Fernandez as well, which are players that might end up leaving. But Southampton do sign some very good young talent. As they signed Fernandez, they've got Tyler Diblin. They always have players coming through. They've got players that come back from loan. I'm a QPR fan. I watched a lot of Ronnie Edwards. Shea Charles is very good for Sheffield Wednesday. You got two players there coming back from loan. I do think Southampton have got a lot of good vibes about them, so I think they'll be right up there come the end of next season. I think Southampton will be right up there. So the automatic promotion is going to be interesting, but I think the playoffs is really where the main chat is and who's going to be getting in. I think automatics, I think a lot of people are having Ipswich right up there, and then it's who can get that second spot. And for me right now, Southampton are the front runners, despite being absolutely woeful in the Premier League last season. Then you always have that eye. If you're a mid-table Championship club, you always have that eye and think, can we sneak into the playoffs? Is that a possibility? Because you never know, because you saw Bristol City get into the playoffs, a team like that. That's kind of the blueprint for a lot of the Championship teams this season that sat in the middle of the table and think, if Bristol City have done it, why can't we sneak a place in the playoffs? Obviously, Bristol City got battered in the playoffs, but you have that hope of getting Premier League football just by finishing sixth in the Championship. And then you got a lot of teams there that will fancy their chances. The one is like, Birmingham City, coming up from League One, already got the momentum, the new stadium being built. So much positivity and so much kind of promise being shown with Birmingham. They're a team that's really going to fancy their chances this season in terms of getting into them playoffs, in my opinion. You never know. Could they push any higher? We've seen Ipswich do it, but it's obviously going to be difficult when you look at their kind of juggernauts in Ipswich. And I mean, can you call Southampton a juggernaut as well? Maybe. coming down from the Premier League. And you look as well, Leicester as well have still got a very competitive squad. Even if they do get that points deduction, they're still competitive. You look, Birmingham fancy their chances. Coventry definitely fancy their chances. Middlesbrough under Rob Edwards, don't really know what to expect with them, but they're always kind of in and around it, aren't they, Middlesbrough, with the playoffs. I think Norwich have got a lot of good energy coming with Liam Manning getting appointed. I think a very good manager, obviously did a very good job at Bristol City, and I think he's got better resources at Norwich and a more kind of ambitious club. So you got to think that Norwich could be competitive if they get their transfer business right. West Brom as well under Ryan Mason. Again, it's difficult to predict, but I've heard good things about Ryan Mason as a coach. Could he do really well and hit the ground running as a manager? I definitely think he could. So next season in the Championship for me absolutely promises to be a real good season in terms of the relegation battle, which we know has always been so exciting over the last couple of years. You're going to have a lot of teams in the mix come the end of the season and a lot of question marks in terms of relegation, who's going to go down. And in my prediction, I do think a big team or an established Championship team will end up getting relegated, at least one this season, just due to the fact that the clubs that are coming up are very, very strong. And then you look at the playoff battle, you've got so many teams that can be in the mix. Swansea even fancy their chances at it as well. There's a lot of teams I think that have that outside chance and have that eye on the playoffs, I think, throughout the season. And you got the automatic promotion, you've got the teams coming down, obviously, that are going to be very good again in the Championship, you'd expect. And as well as that, you've got teams like Coventry, Sheffield United, that might fancy their chances at maybe going that one step further and maybe having a real automatic promotion push. Even though Sheffield United did have an automatic promotion push last season. But let me know your prediction. I think this Championship season, as I say, is really going to be an exciting one. I can't wait to see how it all pans out. So let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. If you're a Championship fan, you're looking forward to the season, hit that subscribe button on the channel. It'd be very greatly appreciated. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.